Welcome to the Scottish Awards for New Music 2020. I'm Jamie MacDougall and I'm delighted to be hosting this award ceremony, the fourth on behalf of New Music Scotland. I'm delighted to be doing anything just now, has to be said, and wearing something other than a Bob the Builder onesie. Now tonight we are celebrating the astonishing amount of top quality new music being created, performed and programmed in Scotland. And many of the shortlisted have appeared as guests on my radio show, BBC Radio Scotland's Classics Unwrapped, and I'm delighted that the programme has become such an important platform for new music in this country. Now we had planned to hold this year's celebration in Dundee's V&A Museum. What an iconic building, tremendous. But since the year hasn't quite turned out as any of us would have planned it, we've done some rejigging of things, and instead we can bring the evening to you in the comfort of your armchair. And because there's no meal beforehand, you won't have any of the heartburn or reflux later. Well, I might not be in the V&A, but I am in one of Scotland's newest new builds. Last week I should have been giving the premiere of the Scottish Opera's new production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. But I had to put down my music score and pick up my power tools, my paint and my rollers, and I've been finishing off our own self-build. And I've had a lot of time, you could say, on my hands these past 3 or 4 weeks. It's been 4 years actually to get the house to where we're almost completed it, and I have to tell you, if I ever see that man from Grand Designs, I'll put my toe right up his Anthropocene. Well, let's get on with what we've all clicked on for, the awards ceremony. Now there are 12 categories, 194 nominations, 8 panellists and 8 different funders. Now this has been a voyage of discovery, which of course if this was still happening in Dundee would have been a fantastic link, but I've kept it in anyway because that's what they've sent me. Of course, at this point, we really want to thank our funders and our sponsors who have continued their amazing support even in the current situation. Without the help of Creative Scotland, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, Steinberg, PRS for Music, the Incorporated Society of Musicians, the Good Spirits Company, the Scottish Music Industry Association and Musicians Union, this wouldn't have taken place. So please join me in raising a glass to them all. Thank you. That's good water, man. Well, this next hour might focus on the shortlisted nominees and the winners, but of course, the whole event is much, much bigger than that. It's more exciting even than the list of names involved tonight. There's just so much good new music going on in Scotland that it was incredibly difficult for the panel to come up with this shortlist, let alone the winners, which is very exciting. It might be a cliche, in fact it is a cliche, but this cliche has been written for me, so I'm going to say it. There really are no losers in this one. There needs to be some winners though, who need to be given an award. So before we find out who they are, let's have a quick look at the sculptor that will be being packed up in compostable packaging and sent out to these 12 very fortunate and deserving winners. Artist and sculptor Laura Sayers works primarily with paper, which reminds me, I read just a couple of days ago that due to the economic downturn, the world famous origami firm in Japan has now folded. Well, Laura Sayers studied at the University of Edinburgh's College of Art before going to London and then moving back to Glasgow, where she is now based in that wonderful Brigitte complex.
My name is Laura Sayers and I work as an illustrator in Glasgow. My work is all made up of paper and the images range from characters to really tiny things to more abstract pattern-based pieces, which is the style that I wanted to bring to the Scottish Awards for New Music this year. I was originally thinking about the V&A in Dundee and the shapes involved in that new building, but also bold shapes that aren't explicitly musical, but still give that sense of noise and movement. The first few designs I made felt quite rigid, which didn't feel in line with the expressive projects that have been nominated for these awards, so gradually things have become a bit freer, and I've been hand-cutting all of these shapes to be layered up with a unique composition for each of the awards, which will then be posted out when they've been fabricated. So thank you to New Music Scotland for this opportunity.
So to our first category, the award for large-scale new work, so for 11 or more performers, which is sponsored by PRS for Music. The panel looked at 24 pieces in this category, eventually selecting 3 in the shortlist. David Fenessy, Conquest of the Useless. A set of 3 pieces for electric guitar, electronics, singer, actor and orchestra. The trilogy was written over 7 years and given its complete premiere by the RTE National Symphony Orchestra in February 2019 as part of the New Music Dublin Festival. Conquest of the Useless is inspired by a passage of text from the prelude to Werner Herzog's 1982 movie Fitzcarraldo, which is about an obsessive attempt to build an opera house in the middle of the Amazon jungle, something you can add to your watch list for the next few weeks. Stuart MacRae's Anthropocene. Stuart MacRae's 4th collaboration with librettist Louise Welsh was commissioned by Scottish Opera and premiered by them in January 2019. Anthropocene tells the tale of a team of research scientists who become trapped in the Arctic as relationships fray and tensions rise. A shocking discovery is made. Thea Musgrave, Trumpet Concerto. A joint commission from the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra and the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, who premiered it with Alison Balsam in July 2019. The Trumpet Concerto is a 5-movement work based on a set of paintings by Scottish artist Victoria Crowe. Thea Musgrave visited the exhibition when she was back in her hometown for the Edinburgh International Festival celebrations for her 90th birthday and found inspiration in the collection of paintings of still life trees. The envelope containing the winner's name was posted to PRS for Music's classical account manager, Harriet Wybor.
I'm delighted to be presenting the award for large-scale new work on behalf of PRS for Music. The Scottish Awards for New Music have become a real highlight in our calendar, and while we're so disappointed that we can't be together to celebrate all of the nominees this evening, thank you to New Music Scotland for finding a way to make the awards happen. So, to the winner of the award for large-scale new work, sponsored by PRS for Music, is Stuart MacRae with Anthropocene. Congratulations, Stuart.
The award for collaboration was once again sponsored by the Incorporated Society of Musicians, who represent and support musicians who work throughout the industry. There were 20 nominations considered by the panel for this category and 3 made it into the shortlist. Physical Education is an innovative collaboration between composer Robert Reid Allen, filmmaker-director Sacha Balmazzi-Owen and actor-dancer Richard Court. Commissioned and premiered in June 2019 by Birmingham Contemporary Music Group, the work mediates on the hyper-masculine, violent environment of childhood PE lessons through music, poetry, dance and live and pre-recorded film. Diversions was the result of a collaboration between Drake Music Scotland, Hebrides Ensemble and Edinburgh's Queen's Hall, which saw composer Ben Lunn curate a programme of new and specially adapted music which aims to address some of the barriers faced by autistic or neurodivergent people when attending live performances. New works by Siobhan Dyson, Rylan Gleave, Lucy Hale, Ewan Mackay, Joe Stollery and Benjamin Teague, as well as Ben Lunn, were included in the project. Rough Breathing was a project which explored the role and use of breath as a tool for improvised performance. Composer and vocalist Nicholas Scrutton's collaboration with clarinetist Alex South began back in 2018 as part of a residency supported by AC Projects and the CCA and culminated in a performance at the Tectonics Festival in 2019. We invited Ruth McPherson, the Senior Partnerships and Marketing Manager of the Incorporated Society of Musicians, to open the envelope.
Good evening, my name's Ruth McPherson and I'm the Senior Partnerships and Marketing Manager at the ISM, the Incorporated Society of Musicians. We are the UK's professional body for musicians and a subject association for music. I'm very sorry not to be in Dundee with everyone this evening, but instead I'm at home in London. At least it's given me an excuse to dress up during lockdown. It's fantastic that these awards are happening digitally, and I'm really pleased to see that despite the challenges of COVID-19, musicians and music organisations are coming up with new creative ways to work online and keep the music coming. And the ISM are delighted to be presenting tonight's prize for collaboration, and we'd really like to congratulate all the nominees in this category. This is the second time the ISM have been involved in the awards, and we're very proud to support an initiative which celebrates and showcases the excellent work being done by music makers all over Scotland. So thank you to New Music Scotland for putting on the awards, and to all of tonight's nominees for their excellent contributions. And without further ado, I would like to announce the winner of the ISM prize for collaboration. And the winner is Diversions by Ben Lunn, Drake Music Scotland, Hebrides Ensemble and the Queen's Hall, Edinburgh. Congratulations.
And now on to the award for Scottish New Music Performer of the Year. It was another tough one for the panel. There were so many individuals and ensembles performing new music in all manner of settings and all to world-class level. Bass clarinetist Sarah Watts has an international reputation as a soloist, chamber musician, teacher and researcher. One of her projects in 2019 was 10 Wee Drams, which was a programme of 10 new works for contrabass or bass clarinet, featuring Scottish-based composers. She premiered the piece in the new distillery on the island of Raasay, where she has a house, in 2019, and then toured them throughout Scotland later in the year. Glasgow-based flute player Richard Craig's busy year included solo recitals in Berlin and Salford, as well as collaborations with ensembles in the Netherlands and the UK. He featured in programmes at the Huddersfield Contemporary Music Festival and gave premieres by composers including Lauren Redhead, Alistair Saldua and Rebecca Saunders. He also featured in a disc of composer John Croft's music. The Scottish Ensemble commissioned a number of new works in 2019. There were premieres of pieces by Gabriela Montero, Kevin and Bijan Chimrani, Socrates Sinopoulos and Aidan O'Rourke and Kit Downs, alongside existing music by composers including Peter Vass, Philip Glass, Anna Meredith, David Fenessy, Georgi Ligeti and Tansy Dives, all appearing on the programmes. The Musicians' Union has very kindly supported the performance aspect of tonight's event, so we asked the original organiser for Scotland and Northern Ireland, Caroline Sewell, to open the envelope and reveal the name of the Scottish New Music Performer of the Year.
The Musicians' Union is delighted to present the Scottish New Music Award for Performer or Performers of the Year. A huge congratulations to all of the fantastic nominees. So, without any further ado, the winner is Scottish Ensemble. A huge congratulations to the winners.
The Royal Conservatoire Award for Making It Happen is designed to celebrate emerging talent within new music, an organisation or person who has put a new idea that has an impact on other people into action and has really made something very special happen. The shortlist is the Night With series, run by composer Matthew Whiteside, which began in a basement in Glasgow's Hug and Pint pub, has now expanded into seasons in Edinburgh, Aberdeen and Belfast, and was included in the Made in Scotland programme in the 2019 Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Programmes include commissioned works alongside existing pieces by contemporary composers, and often an historical work or two, putting the new work into context. Nordic Viola is the brainchild of Katherine Wren, who is also a member of the Royal Scottish National Orchestra's Viola section. 2019 was something of a breakthrough year, with performances in Iceland, Shetland, the Inner Hebrides and mainland Scotland. There were new pieces, collaborations with Gemma McGregor, Alex South, Anna Appleby and Renzo Spiteri, and a number of education projects throughout Iceland and Scotland. Ben Lunn was the driving force behind the Diversions project, which we've already mentioned tonight. His collaboration with Hebrides Ensemble, Drake Music Scotland and the Queen's Hall was shaped by research into performance formats which might be more relevant and accessible to those with autism and other neurodivergent conditions, commissioned by Hebrides Ensemble and Creative Scotland. The man holding the golden envelope is the Director of Research and Knowledge Exchange at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, Professor Stephen Broad. And when he's not doing all of that, of course you'll hear him sitting in for me on Classics Unwrapped. Stephen, mind you don't get a paper cut opening that envelope.
Good evening everyone, I'm Stephen Broad, Director of Research and Knowledge Exchange at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, and I'm particularly delighted that the Conservatoire sponsors the Make It Happen Award, which is designed to recognise the sheer effort and ingenuity that goes into making new music happen. So, I have my trusty knife here to open the envelope, and oh my goodness, this is no easier recorded than it is live, and announce that the winner of this year's RCS Award for Making It Happen is Lunn and Diversions.
Our next award is new for 2020. It may not be claiming the headlines just yet, but climate change and environmental sustainability are vitally important issues which create huge challenges as well as some interesting opportunities for the new music sector. The panel looked at 14 nominations for the award for environmental sustainability in new music and picked 3 for the shortlist. Below the Blanket was a series of commissions of sonic installations inspired by Scotland's flow country. This area is the world's largest blanket bog. It's a natural store for carbon, as well as being home to many rare animals, birds, insects and plants. The project highlighted the area's importance and provided an opportunity for artists to respond creatively to the issues around climate change. Chamber Music Scotland is well known as the organisation which supports chamber music clubs and societies throughout Scotland, but they also run various development and creative projects throughout the year. Environmental sustainability has become one of their key areas of focus, and 2019 saw 7 different projects which looked at issues including plastic pollution, the natural world, coastal erosion and noise pollution. The Nevis Ensemble have always placed environmental sustainability at the heart of their operating model, but took it a step further in 2019 with their Green Nevis project. This looked at the impact of every aspect of a touring orchestra's life and worked to minimise the environmental impact, move single-use plastics, carbon offset, and promote the idea of individual as well as collective responsibility for musicians, promoters and audiences. Journalist, broadcaster and keen cyclist Kate Mollison has a recycled envelope to open, and she's also discarded her bicycle clips.
Hello everybody, it's lovely to not see you but to be in touch remotely with you. I wish we were together for this beautiful ceremony, but alas, here I am in my flat in Edinburgh. Now, I have to make an admission, which was that I was sent this very glamorous gold envelope, and taking precautions that I am at the moment, I sprayed it down with this Dettol and then left it outside my door before bringing it into the flat for risk of infection. Now the problem is I put it down on a bench outside my door and it stuck to the bench. I'm really sorry. I feel like I've let down the gold envelope. It's become a bit ragged, but I can still read what it says on the back. So here we go. I'm going to open it. I'm really sorry for the appearance of the gold envelope, which was beautiful, now is a little bit wrecked, but inside is intact. So here we go. This is the moment of opening the envelope that says environmental sustainability on the back. And so yes, this is the winner of the environmental sustainability category. Please excuse the envelope. It's all in the name of health and safety, which is our paramount concern at the moment, obviously. Right, here we go. Here comes the winner. The award for environmental sustainability goes to Nevis Ensemble. Congratulations, Nevis Ensemble.
Desperate times call for desperate measures there, Kate. Next time, break out the marigolds, or maybe not. Now on to the Good Spirits Company Award for Innovation in New Traditional Music. Another eye-opening category for the panel who had a tough time selecting their shortlisted nominees. 365, Aidan O'Rourke and Kit Downs was inspired by a collection of stories written by James Robertson, who in 2014 decided to write a short story of exactly 365 words for each day of the year. It was intended as a test of discipline and routine, but grew into an intriguing collection of works. Aidan O'Rourke followed suit, writing a piece each day in response to one of the stories. He collaborated on the music with jazz musician Kit Downs, and the pair recorded a whole project, going on to release a new one each day. Bridget Campbell's album, The Reeling, embraced a new approach to recording the Scottish small pipes. Every little creak, click and breath of the pipes became part of the music on an album that explores the connection between ancient pipe tunes, Gaelic songs and global traditions of storytelling through music. Bridget was joined by Aidan O'Rourke, Reedy Pete and Rona Lightfoot for the recording. Face to Face is an album recorded by experimental duo 12th Day, an adventurous mixture of traditional music, classical ideas, mainstream pop influences, extended techniques and an exploration of all sorts of musical curiosities. The album takes on a number of contemporary challenges: gender roles, power balances, climate change, women in the arts and mental health struggles. They all feature. Well, we're delighted that the Cabinet Secretary for Economy, Fair Work and Culture and MSP for the Lithgow, Fiona Hislop, will announce the winner.
Thank you, Jamie. I'm delighted to take part in this evening's awards ceremony. We are living in very challenging and unprecedented times, and I know all of you are having to think about your own creativity, think about your own music and how you can contribute to tackling what is a very difficult situation for so many different people. But musicians are creative, and I know there's been a great response of creativity to what we're currently living through. So thank you for that. And your innovation, your creativity and your spirit is really valued at this time. I'm here to announce the winner of the Good Spirits Company Award for Innovation in New Traditional Music. And the winner is 365, Aidan O'Rourke and Kit Downs. Congratulations.
Thank you to Cabinet Secretary Fiona Hislop. Well, it's time for some music after all. That's what we're here for, isn't it? And we're going to hear from Sarah Watts. She was one of the shortlisted nominees for the Scottish New Music Performer of the Year category. She very kindly sent a film of a performance of a piece that she commissioned from William Sweeney last year, Rua Waina Dialogue, which translates as Russet Green Two Platings, and it's for solo bass clarinet. It was recorded in the island of Raasay, outside the distillery that premiered as part of the 10 Wee Drams programme. Now, as Bill has turned 70 recently, we thought it'd be a good idea to raise a glass to him tonight. So Bill, happy 70. Here is Sarah Watts. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you to Bill Sweeney for that music and all the fantastic music you've given us over the years. Well, to our next category, the shortlisted nominees for the award for electroacoustic or sound art are Datu is a work by Edwin Hillier, which was commissioned by the Glasgow Experimental Music Series and the Glasgow Cathedral Festival. Scored for 2 percussionists, 3 singers and quadraphonic electronics, it was given its first performance at the crypt at St Mungo's Cathedral. The work's name came from the 5-metal alloy which makes traditional Tibetan singing bowl, and the piece takes its inspiration from ideas linked with the precarious relationship between these elements. Callum Scott's Listening Cave was devised as part of an artist residency at the RSPB Reserve at Barons Hall to the east of Glasgow. The adjacent Dalziel estate is home to a curved brick structure, the Listening Cave, which is believed to have been built for Lady Hamilton in the 1760s, which amplifies the sound of a nearby waterfall in the Dalziel Burn. Callum drew inspiration from this and created an installation which encourages people to listen to their surroundings, to bring attention to something that might be hidden beneath the daily hubbub of sound without really listening for it. Shadows That in Darkness Dwell was written by Timothy Cooper and premiered by Ensemble 1604 as part of the programme in the Nightwith series. Scored for countertenor, recorder, theorbo, baroque cello and electronics, the piece explores the darker side of English Renaissance composer John Dowland's life. In 3 main sections with 2 interludes, Shadows That in Darkness Dwell references historically informed performance practices for sections of the work and blends the electronics and acoustic sound worlds in much the same way as Dowland's own life had at least 2 sides to it. Waiting for the moment when he can open his golden envelope is the man responsible for funding a large number of the nominees appearing on the shortlist this evening. It's Head of Music for Creative Scotland, Alan Morrison.
So, given that we're all stuck inside at the moment, I thought we would make the most of being outside for this part of the ceremony. I have here the award for electroacoustic / sound artwork, and this is the area where our artists really push themselves with what music can do. It's where sound and the physical space really react with each other, making some of the most challenging and exciting music in the new music sector in Scotland. So the nominees this year are Edwin Hillier for Datu, Callum Scott for Listening Cave, and Timothy Cooper for Shadows That in Darkness Dwell. And the winner is... Edwin Hillier for Datu. Congratulations.
And now the RCS Award for Contribution to New Music in Scotland. As you can imagine from the number of names mentioned already this evening, the panel had a serious task on their hands here. They felt that 3 nominees stood out though. Cryptic's Artistic Director Cathie Boyd was nominated for her role in supporting and encouraging Scottish artists. Through Cryptic Nights, she supported the development of 9 existing sonic artworks by Scottish creators. Through Sonica, she commissioned and supported 37 Scottish artists, and there were a further 10 residency opportunities for emerging and mid-career artists throughout the year. Chamber Music Scotland provides support financially, logistically and artistically for a vast network of chamber music clubs and societies throughout Scotland. They celebrate chamber music's traditions as well as support and develop its future. In 2019, they commissioned new works, appointed a composer as artist in residence, and supported 13 composers through developmental residencies, organised a series of professional development sessions, and enabled a range of educational projects. Drake Music Scotland works with musicians who have a range of disabilities, which means that they're very often working with instruments that are, form unusual instrumentations, and in some cases these instruments haven't existed before. This means that each of the project requires new repertoire and an open-minded experimental approach. Projects in 2019 included the Diversions programme, an iPad quartet, a harp orchestra with digital harp, a collaboration with the BBC Philharmonic 10 pieces, and an international tour with their new Universal Orchestra. Composer and Athenaeum Research Fellow of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, Emily Doolittle, is ready to open her envelope.
It's my great pleasure to announce the RCS Award for the contribution to new music in Scotland. And the winner is... Drake Music Scotland. Big congratulations.
Next, the Dorico Award for small or medium scale new work, so between 1 and 10 performers, sponsored by Steinberg. Now, there were over 40 pieces for the panel to consider in this category. That's a lot of music to get through, but they managed to whittle it down to these 3 nominees. 2 panels for String Quartet by Alistair White was written for the Altius Quartet, who also recorded the work for CD, which was released just last year. Now, as the title suggests, the score fits neatly into 2 pages, with each panel having a very different musical character. Lisa Robertson's The Wet Desert, a collection of Highland perspectives, was premiered by Red Note at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland's Plug Festival in May 2019. Scored for flute, clarinet, violin, cello, percussion, piano, the piece takes its inspiration from the variety of views that people have of the Highland landscape, from the tourist snapshots through to long-lasting impact on the Highland clearances, the majestic power of the natural world, and the community feeling for those who call it home. Martin Suckling chose to set a selection of Michael Donaghy's poems in the tuning, which was commissioned by the Oxford Leader Festival and premiered by Marta Fontenelle-Simmons and Christopher Glynn in October 2019. Martin was drawn to 5 poems, which are drawn from different collections of Donaghy's work, by their inherent musicality. They seem to just sing themselves off the page as he read them. Well, Daniel Spreadberg, the product marketing manager at Steinberg Media Technologies, who make the Dorito notation software, is poised with the letter opener.
Good evening. It's my very great pleasure to be here again, I think for the 3rd year, sponsoring the Dorico Award for small and medium scale new work. That's a work for between 1 and 10 performers. And as I say, it's our great pleasure to be a supporter of the New Music Awards. And this year, the award goes to Martin Suckling for the tuning. Congratulations, Martin.
The award for recorded new work meant that the panel had a fair few hours of recordings to listen to, but luckily they enjoyed every second of it. And for the first time ever, there's a clean sweep of shortlisted nominations that all 3 releases feature Hebrides Ensemble. Airs from Another Planet, Chamber Music and Songs by Judith Weir is a release on the Delphine label, with soprano Eilish Tynan joining the ensemble for 2 song cycles, which sit alongside pieces for piano trio, string trio and wind quintet and piano. Sensations of Travel, chamber music by Nigel Osborne, is again on the Delphine label. The disc opens with the piano trio The Piano Tuner, which was inspired by Daniel Mason's novel of the same name. Sensations of Travel, chamber music by Nigel Osborne, is again on the Delphine label. The disc opens with his piano trio The Piano Tuner, which was inspired by Daniel Mason's novel of the same name. It includes music inspired by his travels and work in the Balkans, as well as a piece taken from material created from the chamber opera Nachiketa, which looks at the issue of child exploitation around the world. Hebrides Ensemble joined forces with Pashapa to record David Fennessy's Panopticon, the winner of the Nordic Award for small, medium-scale new work sponsored by Steinberg in the first Scottish Award for New Music back in 2017 on the NMC label. Scored for strings and cymbalum, this is the opening work of a disc that includes Dave's piano trio, ensemble work 13 Factories, and a piece for conductorless chamber orchestra, Herter Rounds. My dear friend and colleague from BBC Scotland arts correspondent Polly McLean has been resisting temptation to steam open her envelope.
Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing okay. Music means a lot to our household, so thank you to all of you who are making music and keep on doing what you do. The winner of recorded new work is Airs from Another Planet, chamber music and songs by Judith Weir, Hebrides Ensemble and Delphine Records.
It's always great to welcome a new partner to the awards, so we're delighted that the Scottish Music Industry Association has chosen to support this category, the SMIA Award for Creative Programming. Composer Matthew Whiteside is the CEO and Artistic Director of the Night With series, which programmed 25 concerts and commissioned 4 composers during 2019. He's also active on the Musicians Union Writers Section Committee, as well as the Regional Committee, has been involved in education and professional development projects, and is active in supporting and advocating for the sector both domestically and internationally. Ben Lunn was the driving force behind the Diversions project, which was put together by Ben, Drake Music Scotland's digital orchestra and Hebrides Ensemble. Not only did the project create new opportunities and pieces, leading to the commissioning of 9 talented composers with a variety of disabilities, but it also developed a whole new concept in programming and presenting live music, which allowed the project to engage with an autistic and neurodivergent audience in ways not previously explored. Soundfestival's programme in 2019 was typically eclectic and adventurous. As part of their Endangered Instruments programming thread, the oboe took centre stage, with exhibitions, masterclasses, ensembles and solo recitals, all celebrating and exploring the oboe. Over 40 public events took place throughout the region, with education and community workshops and sessions in addition to that. SMI's Executive Chair Dougal Perman is about to make his debut with the Golden Envelope.
I am delighted to have been asked to present this award. I am Dougal Perman from the Scottish Music Industry Association, and I'm thrilled to be part, even virtually, of the New Music Scotland Awards. So the SMIA Award for Creative Programming goes to The Night with Matthew Whiteside.
And so to our final category, the award for community or education project. Now, music education is a topic of immense importance. It isn't just about learning the nuts and bolts of notation, playing the instrument, playing music, or the history of composers. As you know, it's much, much more to it than that. We've all seen the headlines, been part of campaigns that have had local councils cutting budgets for music services. It just flies in the face that we all know and we all believe that music education has a wide-reaching impact that changes lives. It's seriously important. New Music Scotland wants to recognise and celebrate the work being done and also to encourage more of it to take place. The nominees are Tinderbox Orchestra has been running for a few years with smaller projects. They're based in Edinburgh. They aim to use music to break down barriers between communities through a series of projects like their Alternative Youth Orchestra, which includes rappers and singers, conventional orchestral instruments and a backline setup, digital arts projects, youth clubs, songwriting sessions in schools and projects in hospitals. While we're on it, let's hear it for the NHS and frontline workers. Sound Symphony is a highly interactive performance which takes audience with complex autism on a journey through music, sound and silence. Created by Sonia Olori, Greg Sinclair and Shori Usoi, it is designed to create a sensory-rich environment where young audiences and their families can feel the music throughout their whole bodies. SCO Sound Moves is a unique music and movement project which was created as part of SCO's residency in Wester Hailes. Led by composer Matilda Brown and movement specialist Ana Almeida, there are a series of school workshops where classes use their imagination and creativity to invent a narrative, which they then use to create a performance. Every child is involved, either as a musician or in the choreographed movement. But to open the final golden envelope of 2020, we're delighted to have Scotland's Grammy Award-winning violinist Nicola Benedetti, OBE.
Hello to everyone. I'm delighted to be here virtually to announce the Education and Community Awards. I've been reading more about all of the projects that have been nominated, and it is so great to see such interesting and impactful work happening right now in the field of music education. I'm delighted to announce not one but two winners for the Education and Community Award, and these are Tinderbox Collective and SCO Soundworks for their excellent projects with school children and young people across Scotland. Congratulations to both.
Thanks, Nikki. Well, it's been a real pleasure to host the Scottish Awards for New Music 2020. On behalf of New Music Scotland, I'd like to say it's been great to get out of the house, but I can't. None of us can. Stay safe, folks. Please stay safe. All that remains for me is to thank all our sponsors and funders once again. Creative Scotland, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, PRS for Music, Dorico Steinberg, the Incorporated Society of Musicians, Scottish Music Industry Association, the Good Spirits Company, and Musicians Union. From me, Jamie MacDougall, hearty congratulations to all the winners, to the shortlist, to all 194 of the nominees. Keep up the good work. Let's go out on a high, shall we, with some music from the award-winning 365 project, courtesy of Aidan O'Rourke and Kit Downs. Stay well.
A couple of tunes. The first one is The Room is in Darkness, and the second one is I used not to be able to read on buses.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ollie Searle. I am the co-chair of New Music Scotland, and I'm here this evening to announce the winner of the Community and Education Project category. I'm really sorry that the awards are not taking place in person this year, but I'm very pleased that we've still been able to draw together a fantastic list of nominees for the awards this year, which I think is strongly representative of the breadth, variety and high quality of new music in Scotland at the moment. I'd like to say at this point a huge thanks to all of the NMS board for all their work, and also for our manager Nicola Henderson, and also Jane Nicholson for her work on the awards, as well as thank you to Laura MacDougall for her help with filming the ceremony. So now I'm actually going to ask my co-chair of New Music Scotland, Andy Saunders, to open the envelope with the winner of the category inside. And Andy's going to hold up the card so I can read it from a safe distance of 3 metres. Thank you, Andy. And there are actually 2 joint winners in this category this year. So the winners of the Scottish Award for New Music category for Community and Education Project in 2020 are the Tinderbox Collective and SEO Sound Moves. Congratulations on behalf of all of us here at New Music Scotland, and we very much look forward to celebrating with everybody in person at the awards next year. Thank you very much. Good night.